Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Bash Harry. We do the hairy knit stuff here. I messed that up, but that's okay. As the channel name implies, we do a lot of knitting, and today we've got some free gift patterns that I think would be really nice, especially since the holidays are coming up. I know that people are celebrating Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, Christmas is right around the corner. I don't celebrate personally, but I know that so many of my friends do, and I thought it'd be really great to just compile some gift ideas that you might want to knit up for that special person in your life. I love knitting for my nieces, my nephews, my partner, and the occasional gift for my friends. So I think this would be really fun, and it just gives us some time to talk about why I think these patterns are really good, whether they're quick or they're intricate or a combination, yada, yada, yada. I've got 14 patterns here. They're all on my Ravelry right here. And I think I saved them as a bundle. If you do want them, it'll be linked down below. There's 14, as I said. Most of them are accessories because I think when it comes to knitting clothes for gifts, I think that's a bit more personal. So this is more of a general list of patterns that I think could be good for anybody and everybody in your life. So with that being said, I guess we'll just get started. Also, I'm currently wearing the currently untitled vest pattern that I've knitted up. If you have any suggestions for names, please leave them down below. It's a very typical cable vest. I am hopefully going to have a tester call out maybe end of this month. We shall see, but I really love it. It's my first cable design, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's the second time I've knitted it up because I was really scared that it was just not going to work out, but it worked out perfectly fine. Super happy with how it turned out. But yeah, I don't have a name for it yet. If you have a name for it, please leave it in the comments down below. I'm gonna move myself to the left-hand side. Left, right? Left on the camera side, right on my side. Let us begin with the 14 patterns. The first one here is the Cupcake Pin Cushion by Fair Perium Reed. This was released in 2013, so over 11 years ago, I think, and this is, as the name suggests, it is a pin cushion that looks like a cupcake, and this is from gathered.how. The reason why I put this is because it's a pin cushion. I have started getting back into sewing, which means I need a place for my pin cushions now, or I need a place for my pins, and a pin cushion would be perfect. Also, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of hijab friends, hijabis in my life, whether it be my mom or my best friends. So if I were to make them something that I know is very practical, it would definitely be a pin cushion. But for you, it could be somebody who is a sewist, somebody who needs to have some pins in their life. Or even if they're a knitter, they might want to use it to hold their lace tee pins that you get from Knit Pro. You know the ones that I'm talking about? So this one is really cute. It uses superwash wool, but I'm pretty sure that if you have something a little bit cheaper like acrylic, it will still give the same finish, and uses 3mm DPN. So they're quite tiny, but I think that would look really, really cute. The pins act as sprinkles, and I think that's the cutest thing ever. Okay, next up is a little bit of a, how would I say it? I think it's really adventurous as a knit, but it's the Bubble Sheet Pillow in Partridge by Pearl Soho. You'll find a lot of Pearl Soho in this video. I talk a lot about Pearl Soho because I think they have really great free patterns. This one is their Bubble Sheet Pillow, and it is adorable. I feel like a lot of kids would really like this if you have kids in your life. This has a bubble stitch pattern, which I think I have done, but I don't do it as often. It's just not something that I work on in my patterns. This one is free and it uses, I believe, 2 different types of yarn. Yeah, so it's the main yarn, which is 2 skeins of their Pearl Soho Partridge and 1 skein of their Good Wool. And I think you can definitely change it up. It uses Iran worsted weight yarn, so it should knit up relatively quick, although if I do knit this for some friends, I foresee it to take maybe about 2 days, maybe even a day and a half if I have a really good show coming on. It is a 1 size, so it's about 13 inches long, 8.5 inches tall. So I would say it's pretty big. It's about this much, I guess. And I think if you wanted to, you could definitely switch up the needle size, make it bigger, make it smaller. But because this is a pillow, I think it would be best you stick to the same size, just because if it were me, I don't want to see any fluff inside peeking through the stitches. Another thing here that I have, and I think I have featured this before, it's also by Pearl Soho. It is their double thick pot holder. This is for anyone who's like really into cooking in your life, who wants to, give them something nice in the kitchen when they're doing the pots and the pans. This is the double thick pot holder, and it uses cotton yarn. I feel like in a past video I mentioned using acrylic, and then somebody, or like a lot of people in the comments, were like, don't use acrylic. And now I know, use cotton. This one uses worsted weight yarn in garter stitch. Garter stitch is pretty easy, and to be honest, I think this is a very beginner-friendly pattern. It's only garter stitch that is predominantly used in this pattern, and I think this would be really great for a gift. I would probably knit this for my friends who love to cook. I have a friend who is a chef, so I think he'd really appreciate something like this. This is only 1 size, but I think that's perfectly fine. Okay, another one here that I'm really happy to share is the Market Bag by Davina Choi. This is from Sheep and Stitch, and I know that she has a YouTube tutorial somewhere here because I've seen it, I've watched it, but I haven't made this bag yet. This is your classic market bag. It's really fun, and I know the construction is very unique. Like, you knit the whole thing, and then you like pick up the stitches along the edges, and then you like turn it into a bag. So it's really fun, and I think with the mesh pattern, it will be really, really quick. This one uses Paint Box Yarns Cotton DK, but I'm pretty sure you could substitute this with Lily's Sugar and Cream Solids, which I feel like is really sturdy when knitting accessories or decor. Not necessarily for clothes, but definitely for home decor accessories. I've knitted a bag using sugar and cream, and I thought it was really sturdy, but I've heard many people say don't use that when making clothes because it's really itchy, and I also agree. I think cotton is really great for wearables, but not necessarily the sugar and cream itself. I'm going on a tangent. I do like sugar and cream for bags, and I would recommend using that for the Market Bag by Davina Choi. It does come in 1 size, so keep that in mind, but I think you could play around with like the different types of materials if you have them, and especially with the mesh pattern, you can easily switch out the needles to make it bigger or smaller. Also, I highly recommend her channel. I remember watching it when I was first starting out knitting. Well, not first starting out, maybe like a few years ago when I was like halfway through my knitting journey back in the day, and I didn't have like a lot of knitting podcasts that I was aware of when I was younger. So I definitely recommend her. And I think she's just really enjoyable to watch. She's so vibrant and she's so fun. Another accessory I have here, and I think I have quite a few accessories. This is the My Baker's Hat by Emily Russell. It is a free Ravelry download, and she knitted it for her boyfriend. Oh, that's so cute. It is 1 size again, but it should fit most adult head sizes, because I know sometimes they do in size small, medium, large. I'm making a hat right now. Like, I'm making a hat pattern and I'm doing it in 3 different sizes just because it's color work. But this one here is knitted up with worsted weight yarn, 20 stitches by 27 rows. And this uses not a lot of yarn, about 150 yards at most. This is a fold-up brim that's knitted in 1x1 ribbing and then uses a singular stockinette to make a tiny fold. So it's pretty nice. I really enjoy looking at the photos. It's really cute, and there's over 1,000 projects already, and it was made in 2022, so about 2 years ago exactly. I can foresee this being very, very popular, and you can definitely play around with it. I've seen some people here on Ravelry, they incorporated their own color work, and I think that would be really fun for a pattern like this. I do like a square decrease. I made a hat with a square decrease long ago, probably when I was like a teenager. I don't know if I have the video or photos still up. I have to look at it, like if I do have that photo. It was probably made in like 2015. And if I remember the pattern, because I think I self-drafted that pattern, but a square decrease was really, really fun to make. What yarns would I use with this? You can use Cascade yarns, Cascade 2020 or Blue Sky Fibers wool stock. So I think you can definitely make this with a lot of different yarns. I've seen people use Heavy Merino by Knitting for Olive, Cascade, even Drops Merino Extra Fine. I think they held it together with something else like a mohair. So you can definitely play around with this hat pattern. Okay, we're in the 12-minute mark, so I'm going through this hopefully relatively quickly. The next thing that we have here, which I think would be really cute for kids, this is the Tangled Roots headband by Celeste Knitwear. This recently came out. It was released of October 2024, and it is a 16-stitch cable in the middle, and then there's 2 lace columns on a reverse stockinette background. So I think this is really, really beautiful. It's very unique for a headband, and you can see that there's a twist right in the front. This only has 1 project so far, but I think this would be such a nice gift for people, especially for the kids. I definitely would probably make this for my niece. She has quite a few headbands, and they are free. This one was released, the Grapevine headband was released, I think, September. And so they're really, really pretty. I would highly recommend making some for the kiddos in your life. Alrighty, we are going through these hopefully relatively quickly. The next up is the Soho Scrunchie by Tori Yu. I love scrunchies. I love making them. I make so much of them myself. I even have a YouTube tutorial and free Ravelry download on my channel somewhere. I'll leave a link up here if I can find the tutorial that I made a couple of years back. Scrunchie is a really great way to use up stash yarn, but also make something that is like super unique and fun. I love playing with color work when it comes to scrunchies, and I think the Tori Yu Soho Scrunchie would be a really good base. She has 3 sizes available: mini, medium, jumbo. And then gauge is not necessarily for this. You can use any gauge or for this specific type of scrunchie, which I think is completely understandable. You do not need a lot to make a scrunchie. And I know that there's other tutorials here on YouTube where it plays around with different fibers, different materials, a lot of things, and it'll be so fun. I've seen a scrunchie made completely out of mohair, and I think that would be so cute to give as a gift. My one concern of that is mohair tends to be very fluffy, and I would be really scared of them finding like the fibers in their hair, because that would be really annoying in my opinion. But I think a cotton scrunchie or something that's a bit fuzzier might be a bit nicer. If you're going to do color work with a scrunchie, you would probably want something where the stitch definition is obvious, like with cotton. You know what I mean? Another thing that I have here, and this one would probably take the longest out of all the projects that I have. This is the Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. I've never made anything from Stephen West yet. I'm not really somebody who's like completely into shawls. It's just not my thing, but I know my mom, who crochets, absolutely loves making shawls. This shawl by Stephen West is very simple. It's a simple triangular shawl that starts from the top center and increases towards the border. So you can just slowly start increases. And I think it's a very simple pattern with an increase in the center. This uses 2 different types of yarn. You can either do this in a DK or fingering. So there's a lot of options for you. If I was making this for a gift, I'd probably knit it in a DK weight yarn just so it goes a little bit faster. And then I would try to see how long that would take. It would probably take a while, to be honest, but if that person that you love very much in your life is deserving of a shawl, it would be the Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. And then another thing that I have here, which I think is very unique, This is, oh, I cannot pronounce this. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be butchering this. This is the Nur 3 Double Toffler by Liv Stangland. I'm really sorry. Please let me know what the correct pronunciation is. This is felted slippers. I actually really love making socks right now, and I have another sock pattern coming up. This has actually been here for a very long time. It's by Sandus Garn, and it uses bulky weight yarn, so you know it's gonna like finish relatively quick. Uses 15 stitches, so it's about 5.5 millimeters. And not a lot of yardage. I think at most it's probably 385 yards, and it comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sizes for your feet. That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. 9 shoe sizes is pretty impressive. So I would probably make this for myself in the size 36/37. That is my shoe size in the EU. And then you will be felting it, so definitely be using like 100% wool so it's easier to felt. I've never felted anything before. I'm curious about it, but that is a craft that I don't think I'm going to be doing anytime soon. I have like a weaving kit that I have not started yet, so maybe I'll start with that and then I will try felting something. But this has over 1,000 projects as well. So it's definitely something that I think could be really nice, especially if you live in much colder weather than I do. Slippers would always be amazing. The warmest thing I would make for my feet are just socks, and that's it. Colorwork socks, but socks nonetheless. And speaking of socks, I have 2 free ones here. One I'm gonna shout out is the Fairy Maiden socks by This Handmade Life. I was tempted whether or not I wanted to keep this here because 1, I know socks can take a while, and 2, I don't know how common it is to give socks as a present, but after watching some like knitting podcasts, I've noticed that a lot of people love giving socks, and this is why it's here. I was just obsessed with the stitches. I think it's absolutely beautiful. There's this cable texture that the designer says is very easy to memorize, and it's only charted. So I would definitely actually make this for myself since I'm getting back into my sock knitting, and it'll be something that's a bit different compared to the colorwork socks that I've been working on. This one I can foresee can be a very quick knit if you kind of shorten the cuff a little bit. It is a 1 size only, so it's a 64 stitch. So just be mindful of that. I know that if you're working with socks, you can easily make it bigger or smaller just by going a needle size up or down. So keep that in mind if you do plan on knitting something like this. She has a lot of other free patterns, so I'll leave everything down below in the description. And then another sock pattern that I want to share is the Tiny Tree Socks by Summer Lee. Technically, this is not a gift pattern, like you can't wear it, but I think it's really, really cute. I'm getting really into making ornaments. I think I've made a few. Let me see if I have them. I have made quite a few ornaments. I'm teaching a knitting workshop soon, so I was just testing out some patterns. So I made this ornament, which is supposed to be a tree, and I made this heart, which I need to weave in the ends and fix up. So obviously the photography for her pattern, the Tiny Tree Socks, are much better. So I think this would be great if you're going to give them as a little gift for somebody, and then they could hang it on their tree or on their stairs. I don't know what you do with tiny ornaments actually. Anyway, I think these are a relatively quick knit, but they use very fine needles at 2.25 millimeters and 26 yards. This is very tiny. So they're about, she doesn't give the exact number or like the actual dimensions in the Ravelry page, but I'll check it out on the Ravelry downloads and have the information down below. It does do a typical sock, so it does have that heel flap and gusset. So in case you are interested in this, it uses the same techniques as a sock, just on very smaller, tinier versions. I probably use this with the tiny, if I were to make this, it would probably be with the magic loop method, just because I don't think 9-inch circular socks would fit with this. All right, we've got 3 more to go. The next one we have here is the Dalia Hair Bow by Isabel Cecilia. This is so cute. I think a lot of people are getting sick of hair bows because I know they were a big trend this year in 2024, but I'm not. I think they're cute. I think they're adorable. I think they could go really well with a lot of outfits. This one comes in English and Spanish, and it uses lace weight yarn held together to make a fingering, although I do think if you wanted something that's like slightly heavier, you can definitely use a regular fingering weight yarn or even a DK. It would definitely make the bow a lot thicker, but I think it would be really cute for the girly pops or like the kids who are interested. I would probably make this for moms, specifically for their kids. If they had any girls, they usually would like them to wear hair bows, and I think it'd be really, really cute. This one doesn't use a lot of yarn. I think it's only about 48 to 110 yards because it comes in 2 sizes, a small size and a large size. So you can definitely play around with the different types of materials and the sizes for your friends and family. My battery is dying. I thought I charged it enough. Anyway, the next one that I have, well, the last 2 are actually from Pearl Soho. This is the Near Cowl by Pearl Soho. I don't think I've ever featured a cowl until now. I think of cowls as an easier, less time-consuming scarf. I was tempted to put a scarf in here, but then I thought about it. I'm like, I don't really like making scarves that much, so a cowl is my compromise. This one uses almost an entire skein of Pearl Soho's 9DK. It's 100% cashmere. If you're going to give somebody a 100% cashmere scarf or cowl, you love that person very much. But this one uses DK weight yarn, and I simple pattern. From what I can see, it's a little bit of ribbing, but it's not too tight, so I think it would be really, really nice to see. And it's just a very basic in the round pattern, so you'd be able to work this up very, very quickly. And last but not least, also from Pearl Soho, is the Peacat hat and hand warmers. This one here, what makes it unique is that it has that Peacat edge. I have not done a Peacat edge yet. I know I should. I feel like it's time for me to start learning how to do a Peacat edge. And I think this pattern might be the best way to start. It comes in 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes. We've got toddler, kid, adult small / medium, and adult large / medium. It uses 1 or 2 skeins, although sometimes they do use quite a number of skeins specifically for the hat and arm warmers. If you were going to do this as a gift, either or I think would be completely fine, or as a set. I hope the people that you give these gifts to understand the amount of work and time and dedication it takes to make something with your own hands, and it's just so sweet and beautiful. I think these are really great gift ideas for really anybody, so I do hope that you enjoyed kind of the list that I have for the gift patterns. My camera is dying, so I think I'm gonna finish this video up now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Happy holidays to everyone who is celebrating, and I hope you have a great time. Alrighty. Also, if you hear noises, I'm really sorry. I think somebody's cutting grass or the trees. I'm not entirely sure, but thank you for ignoring that if you can hear it.